This is James P. White from 95.7 Cruise FM, The Locker Room. Welcome to the Jedi Jimmy podcast. This is episode number 47. It is Willow, episode number 8. It is the final episode of this season, and in my opinion, it did not disappoint. The name of this episode is actually called The Children of the Worm. Now, it starts with, if you don't remember what happened last time, at the very end of the episode, Kit and Alora Dannon, they were on that cliff where they were trying to get to the city, and they just both kind of embraced each other. It took faith and kind of fell off the waterfall, and which was a cliff, and they ended up arriving at the the city where Eric was. So this episode actually starts with Eric dressed as a warrior, and he is with the creatures of the worm. So those are those nasty looking uh, monsters that we've seen throughout the series. Now Eric has been brainwashed or controlled by the worm, which has been the evil part of this entire uh, series. And so what ended up happening is Jade and Grayson, they too decided, they should follow Alora Dannon and Kit down. So they jumped off the cliff as well. But Willow actually said he didn't want to go because he missed his daughter and he needed to go be with her because she was all he had left. Because, as we learned in previous episodes, his son, Grannon, he left, and his wife was killed while he was on a previous quest years ago. Now, the crone actually is the princess. So remember in the last episode, there was a princess that was, showing the hots for Eric. She is the crone. Now, Kit and Alora, they step into the corridor of light, and it ends up becoming like almost like their Garden of Eden. It was like everything that they wanted to see. Uh, Kit, Kit saw Sorsha, where everything was okay, and you could tell that it was a little bit too good. And then you see one thing that was kind of interesting about that illusion is Kit was told by her mother Sorsha that you were always meant to forge your own path. Now Eric is trying to change Alora, and there's supposed to be a wedding that him and Alora are supposed to get married, and but what happens was that I thought was really cool is in the illusion, the voice of Mad Mardigan actually approached Kit and said, "You need to help and you need to save Alora Dannon." Then Kit turns into stone. Now, Alora's starting to catch on to something weird, hinky's going on here, and she actually turns down the wedding. And then now the crone is attacking them all, and it's quite intense. Now, Graydon actually uses his flute against the crone, and Alora Dannon is trying to use Shalindria's wand, and the crone ends up breaking that and ends up destroying Graydon. It was really intense. Alora asks why. Then Willow came back, and so both Alora, who's now using magic without a wand, Willow comes back. She goes, "Why did you come back?" He says, "Because my place is standing right next to you." So cool. That was awesome. Now, Kit, is revived from turning into stone, and she ends up getting the Chimerian cuirass, which is that special armor, and it actually worked on her. So that was awesome. And Eric is actually trying to kill Kit and Jade because, again, of the influence of the crone. And then Alora ends up killing the crone. Kit was able to make the armor work for her, fight her brother, and ends up defeating the power that was in him, which was the possession of the crone. Now, in order to save Eric, to bring him back to life, Willow takes his staff, and there's a special crystal in the end of it, and they use that stone to help save Eric. So cool. Now, at the end, they're hinting that there is going to be another season because the worm is still alive, Graydon is still alive, and then there's a part where it seems like a part of Alora that during the battle was left there, and it looks like that part has turned evil. So they're really pushing to have a second season. I'm hoping that's so. It was so good. I really loved it. Now, throughout this series, people have told me that this series wasn't that good. That they felt like most part, Willow was, as they put it, a bit of a dick. Now, let me kind of explain something to you. So, the thing is in all 8 episodes, so there was 8 episodes of the series, at least 4 of those, people used the word peck when referring to Willow, which, if you don't know, peck is the equivalent of the word midget, which a lot of little people dislike, and it's meant as a derogatory term. It's not like a term of endearment or anything. It's basically a nickname that can come across as rude. Also, on top of that, in every episode, he was judged harshly by the people in his team. They were doubting his ability, doubting why he was there. They were judging him at every chance that they got. Now, if you think about this, he left his home to help people, and they were rude to you. You'd be a bit of a dick too. Just saying. It's when you push someone and you're ignorant to them and you expect them to be happy-go-lucky, it doesn't work like that. My opinion. Now, Willow is done for this season, so going forward, starting next week, I'll actually give you the backstory of the Bad Batch. It's an animated series. Now, they're currently started the season 2, so I'll be doing kind of an overview of season 1 for those who haven't watched it, as well as I'll be describing certain episodes going into the new season as well, until the Mando comes out, which is Mandalorian Season 3, comes out March 1st. Now, for those of you who are just watching this or listening to this podcast, there is a video version of the Jedi Jimmy podcast. If you go to the Locker Room YouTube page, which is at the Locker Room 957, you'll find all the video content from this podcast and previous. And also, one thing that the video content does is sometimes in some episodes, I demonstrate lightsaber fighting techniques or show pictures if you don't know who certain characters are, so forth and so on. So if you love the podcast, check out the videos for sure. I do need to thank you for joining me for this entire season of the Willow series. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun for me. I hope there is a second season. And I do need to thank my sponsors. First of all, Dean Blundell Network on deanblundell.com. as well as I do need to thank my buddy Army Chris for Fire for Effect Productions. He actually taught me how to build this podcast as well as all the equipment I needed to do it, and I do need to thank him. I look forward to seeing you next week, and may the Force be with you always.